So I've thought about what kind of video I wanted to try to do for today, and I had a few ideas, but I came down to one conclusion of one video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time since I bought this console a couple months ago. Today's video, I am going to be talking about the Xbox Series X. Now, the Xbox Series X is the highest end Xbox when it comes down to this generation of consoles, which includes the PS5. Although, I have to say that this is without a doubt a beast against the PS5 because this has 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, and also it's $500. Pretty much the same price as the PS5, although I did only pay $350 for this, so that's a pretty good deal. There's also the Xbox Series S, which I ended up reviewing last year, which gave up some things including a disk drive and less storage, although they also released an Xbox Series S in this color range and also more storage. Although talking about some things I do like about the Xbox, I like the disk drive. It's able to go up to DVDs and 4K Ultra Blu-rays, which means that this is actually a very capable disk drive, along with also playing last generation games, including almost the entire library of Xbox One games, some Xbox 360 games, and some original Xbox games. I do love the matte black of this Xbox. I really do think it is such a badass console, and it actually blends in pretty well. I did like the color combination on the original Xbox One, but this just seems like it fits pretty well in my cabinet. Although, I gotta say that, talking about the ports real quickly, obviously you've got the disk drive, one USB port on the front, a button that basically makes it so you can sync new controllers, alongside with the button on the front which glows as well. Talking about the back side for a second, there's 2 USB ports, an Ethernet jack, a storage expansion slot, which I thought was compact flash for a second, but it's its own proprietary storage media, HDMI out, and the plug for power. Now, talking about the design for a second, now even though a lot of people say this looks like a mini fridge, which basically Microsoft decided to take personally, I have to say that I do kind of like the design. I love this little grill thing where it shows the green on the top. It actually looks pretty cool, although I do find it a little more plain against the original Xbox One. Because this doesn't have really the same color combination, it's just a matte black, which kind of has to bring me to the controller, which I'm going to talk about real quickly. Now, happily, I do own an original Xbox One controller, which came on my Xbox One. Although I have to talk about the controller on this one real quickly. I do like the feel of the controller. Personally, against the Xbox Series S controller, I mean, it's not really a difference because it's the same controller. This is not a bad controller at all. I think it's really nice, although I don't like the matte black, which is kind of where I have to pull this guy in. This is an original Xbox One controller with no headphone jack on it as well, and micro USB. It's got the 2-tone finish instead of just being 1-tone, which I think personally is kind of boring. I don't like this finish. Even though it's got a nice little grip on the back of it, I just don't like more of it, more or less. This is not a nice look. I actually prefer this. Even though it's just smooth plastic on the back, I just do prefer this. Now, if you want to go with a higher end Xbox One controller, you could always go with something like this. I bought this from a pawn shop and it's been great. It's got the same sort of grip, but not as intense. The one thing which I do like about this as well is that it's got a headphone jack on it, which the first gen ones don't have, but it's not the main point. I do like these ones. Also, these buttons are clicky too. The Xbox Series X controller is not my personal favorite when it comes down to the color finish, but although it's fairly comfortable, during games it's very, very nice as well. Also, the dirt doesn't show as much on a black controller, unlike a white one, so I guess, yeah. Now, when it comes down to gaming on the Xbox Series X, there's actually a couple of things which I really do like about this console. One of the biggest things is that this can go up to 4K 120 frames per second as well, which means it actually is gonna look a lot smoother. This thing ran like a beast. Also, because it has more storage, 1 terabyte, you're able to install a lot more games, including older generation games. Even though they're lower in storage, they're actually gonna look a lot better. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a game that came out in 2008, but actually has a massive frame rate boost, but also a quality boost as well. It looks like it's gonna be in 1080p at 60 frames per second. It looks great on the Xbox Series X. It actually runs it very well, and there's actually no question to it. Grand Theft Auto 5, Forza Horizon 3 to Forza Horizon 4 all those games run very nicely. Forza Horizon 4 is a game which I play a fair bit. It's not a game which I absolutely play all the time, but I definitely noticed the difference between my Xbox Series S. I really do like what the Xbox Series X is capable of doing. This thing does really well with gaming. Now, even though I also do own a gaming PC as well, I'm not really a guy who really plays on gaming PC. I prefer my Xbox. Preferably, I just prefer it. But I do have to say, what are my general thoughts of the Xbox Series X and its quality? It is very, very nice. A very nice little machine. Even though the outside doesn't really show a lot, it's a very, very plain black looking box. It's very, very high end. It's not actually, it's not cheap. It is very much a thumbs up. Now against the PS5, it doesn't look like it's gonna be much, when in reality it also ends up being better because of the backwards compatibility, more storage as well. Meanwhile, the PS5 is only stuck with being able to play PS4 games and PS5 games off of disc, and it can't natively do original like games from the original PlayStation and anything. This is capable of being able to play some original Xbox and 360 games. This thing I really do like. Now my general thoughts are, very nice console, very, very nice big storage. It's very, very, very big, which is kind of why I didn't really do a video before, but that means it also has a lot of tech. The fact that it also has a disc drive as well is another advantage, because I'm a guy who uses physical media, from CDs to DVDs to Blu-rays to 4K Ultra Blu-rays. I'm not really up on the higher end, but I do have some Blu-rays and a lot of DVDs, which is a massive advantage, because if I want to watch movies on this guy and I don't have a Wi-Fi connection, like I don't have Netflix, I could just watch DVDs and Blu-rays and 4K Ultra Blu-rays. This thing will run it pretty good, which also makes it very, very cheap for an Ultra Blu-ray player. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this little video. I haven't done one of these Xbox reviews in a while. I really do hope I did a good job on that. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later in the next video when April Fool's Day comes up. Bye!